exact intricacies of my mind. That being said, last time on Renewal of Shadow, we picked up with the Sword of Heroes, or Growing Heroes, against the Weapon of a Legend, as Galak Iramak, a hero once from the Feywild, now controlled by this strange hooded mage who stood before the tomb of Knight Bedouin, battled against you all, fighting tooth and nail, as he seemed not in a lack of control, but a lack of choice in the matter. As he seemed fully in control of his actions at first, but was not pleased about what he had to do, continually stating that throughout the battle, and making comments about the impressive strength of the party members as well at times. As the fight continued on, with Galak in fact getting badly hurt and almost going down, but then through his sheer willpower and rage not going. As you all continued to battle against him, the mage was able to glance back and notice something that the party perhaps was not, because the party was in a bad way. That Galak was in fact not utilizing his full power, as revealing his draconic arm that had strange etchings on the back of it. He barked a command out toward Galak, as Galak was then seized by magic and forced to unveil his some of his true power. As using the quartz gavel, he unleashed third-level magic upon you all, blasting you all with a fireball. However, the fight luckily did not have to go on for much longer before the magic upon the tomb was shattered by this mage. As pulling the lid open, he found it empty, crying out in absolute fury that it was empty. Silas attempted negotiations, as speaking with the mage, whose robes now had fallen, to reveal his true likeness. And I was going to set up a handout for what he looked like, but forgot to do it. So I'm just going to show you guys his token again very quickly. As where are you? There we are. Zoom in. As a sickly, white-scaled, dragonborn man stood there, looking frail, frailer than you expect of other dragonborns, weak, but flowing with magic. And as he cleared the magic on the tomb, you could see him, he coughed a whole bunch. And as his hood was unfurled, you were able to see blood trickling down at the side of his lips, as if he had coughed up blood in the midst of his in the midst of his breaking of the magic. But you saw him beneath the hood, and Silas attempted negotiations. It seemed that this Dragonborn man did not take well to Silas's tone, however, and threatened him by unfurling magic greater than any of you could wield, and blasting it simply at the feet of Silas, who continued his talking for a moment after it happened, but soon after remained silent as the mage seemingly was done here, furious at his lack of finding what you all would assume to be the body. No, not what you assume, what you know to be the body, as it would have been pretty clear in what he was saying when he was searching for it. As he walked over to the side of Galak, before muttering out something about him being useless and that there would be words about his holding back. And then the two of them and the corpse, not unconscious, he was very dead, and the corpse, I'm sure that if he was just unconscious, it might have been a different situation for some of the people who were still up, and maybe not for some others. The very dead form of the Crypt Keeper was dragged alongside the sickly Dragonborn, as his anger seemed to be pointed toward the Crypt Keeper, accusing him to be the one behind the disappearance of the corpse. As he dragged the body of the Crypt Keeper with magic over to Gallic, muttered about Gallic being useless and that there would be words about him holding back, and then the three of them were surrounded by immaculate magic and then popped out of existence. Afterward, the animated ogre falling to the ground after laying as just a corpse now. As Silas was able to determine that magic that controls undead does in fact go inert upon extraplanar travel. So it's very possible that there could have been an extraplanar jump by the three individuals there. Nonetheless, you all were sacked, beaten, bruised, knocked unconscious several times, with most of you unconscious on the floor. In fact, I believe at the end of the fight, the only people that were conscious were Josie, Silas, and Isaac. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that those were the only three conscious at the time. So technically, those of you who were unconscious did not see what had occurred in that time. Instead, having seen your last moments be when you were knocked down by Gallic. However, for those that were unconscious, they would get a briefing on what happened once they awoke. Bitterly defeated in some ways, and made aware of the difference in their strength, even as a group of 7 against 1 man. The party the party crestfallen went to take an hour before returning to the city. As they sat watching the rain pour down at the entrance of the crypt. As after the hour had passed, still crestfallen and still hung up on the defeat, the party got up and went to move on back toward the town. As you moved through the now light rain, walking through the mud, Josie was able to spot something strange along the way toward town. What looked like a band of ogres that were making their way on a side road toward the main road that lay as corpses on the ground, covered in blackened sear marks and wounds as well. As the wounds seemingly were were burnt as well when she was looking upon them. As no investigation was made of these corpses, with you all believing it to be possibly dangerous out, and also believing the town to possibly still be in danger. You arrived at the gates as the guard captain drew her blade one last time and brought it into the side of the head of the last living ogre, as a bloodied battlefield littered with corpses of ogres, kobolds, and half-ogres laid before you. The ogres, kobolds, and half-ogres numbering more than the dead bodies of the guards, but a various number of dead guards remained there, to say the least. As death now hanged in the air on this Winter Remembrance Day, the party was informed that there was another attack. An attack on Lady Ilsani, the former councilwoman that had been helping the party throughout many times while they were in town, had been attacked in her own manner. As concerned and wanting to get to the bottom of this, the party rushed toward Lady Ilsani's manor, being met by guards at the door. No, sorry, there were no guards at the door, being met by the gates open with the bodies of guards and footprints of a heavy-set individual that were filled with a arcane fluid that was seemingly quickly losing magic. The party rushed inside and eventually found Lady Ilsani and the head maid. The head maid, with what looked like her arm now transformed into a wide variety of pale, white, metalish weapons that Josie had seen before and that were also inside the corpse of the creature that had attacked them, as the creature that had attacked them was an undead created from the form of the dragonborn head of the Merchant Guild, whose scales were now a obsidian color, and as arcane blue emanated from him as well, as his body sizzled even from while dead. As Lady Ilsani spoke to you all about what had happened and clearly was affected by the damages, physically and as well mentally, as her mental capacity did not seem to be at normal, at its normal state. Had to take a drink. So, the party discussed what had happened, and Lady Ilsani explained what happened as well, as she explained that she was attacked by this undead, a special type of undead only that can be created through means only known to members or former members of the cult of Tiamat. And she explained as well that magic used to animate the corpses or bones of dragons is also techniques only known to members or former members of the cult of Tiamat. As Lady Ilsani explained the best she could about what had happened. But it was not a fully good explanation, to say the least, as her mind was battered and hurt. And the party explained to her what they could, but she was not seemingly fully taking in what the party was saying, and suggested before having a full-on talk about everything that she needed to rest and regain her strength and mind. As before leaving the room, however, you all did some investigating of the corpse as you looked it over and didn't find anything particularly of note except for one thing. A symbol emblazed on the side of its neck, as I believe the symbol was of a claw split in twine like a two-headed, clawed claw, I believe. Or that could be wrong. What looked like a single scorpion's tail. And then I don't remember what the last one was. A shark's maw. Like the maw of a shark, like shark fangs and the jaw of one. Arranged in the shape of a triangle. Does that sound correct to you all? Is that what I described? Okay. As that symbol laid on its neck in the shape of a triangle. As that was explained aloud, Lady Ilsani was shocked and rushed over instantly, pushing Silas, who I believe was investigating, out of the way so that she could look at it herself, as she seemed disturbed by this symbol. As she stared at it, her eyes wide, analytical in thought, and she explained that this was the symbol of the Umbral Order, a cult in dedication to worship of 3 demon lords. As I believe, well, this is where I'm gonna have to ask for some participation from people that took notes last session. Did she describe any of the demon lords worshipped by the cult?
She said she only knew of one, which was the Demogorgon.
That's what I got too.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, definitely say Demogorgon.
I know
Which
she's...
is also what I have written down.
Ben?
Yeah, that's what I have as well, is that the only one she recalled at the moment was Demogorgon.
What was the information that she gave that gave Josie and Silas a bad feeling in their stomach, then?
The name of it being the Umbral Order.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, it was just the name of it being the Umbral Order.
The symbol of the
Okay,
order.
okay.
The symbol did as well when I looked at it, you said.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So, she was aware...
But we didn't know why, technically.
She was aware only of the Demon Prince Demogorgon, who I think just about everyone could roll history on, if they would like, and I will get to that before we get into it, to see what the general knowledge base for Demogorgon is, because I don't think I had you guys roll last session at the end. I was trying to get it to the end of session as quick as possible. So, you may do that. Beryl, I believe you also had a level of exhaustion after the fight had ended. Do you still have that recorded down? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I mean, it's bad either way for me.
Yeah. Okay. Astrid, are you going to be rolling?
Who? Doug Dimmadome?
Yes, my character sheet is just giving me a hard time.
And Josie, you would get a roll as well. As you might not know, like, say, more technical information about it, but, in fact, starting with what, Josie, Carolina, well, let me end the recap first, actually. As that disturbed her, but she could not explain much more about the order, aside from that it was an order, a cult of 3 demon princes, which is still, you know, bad enough without further merit. However, she was unable to explain much more, as again, her mind was rattled. As she offered you all each to stay here for rest after it was suggested that you all did not leave. And then everyone was escorted to where they could sleep in groups of... Was it like 2, 2, 3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
2, 2, 3.
So, everyone was escorted off to get into rooms they could sleep in groups of 2, 2, and 3. And we called session with you all going to get, I assume, what is going to be a long rest for all of you. So, what are the groups going to be, starting with the first 2?
I'd imagine Silas and Josie.
So Silas and Josie for one group. Okay.
And Josie will take Isaac, too.
So you're going to be 3.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So the 3 of us, then?
Yeah.
So Silas, Josie, and Isaac. Okay, then the first 2.
Probably Astrid and Beryl, then.
Okay, so Astrid and Beryl.
And Carolina and Soul.
The classic combination.
Oh, Caroline.
Okay. So that's established. That's going to be the end of the recap, as you all went to go sleep after that. Now, the information about Demogorgon. So starting with what is known to Josie, Astrid, Soul, and Carolina. You got a good roll, Josie, but again, because of your, like, limited pool of knowledge, you only know some things. You know the name Demogorgon. You know that it is frightful and a terrifying name. The name of a demon prince who... No, you don't know that much. The name of a demon prince who has an insatiable appetite for destruction and carnage, whose cultists revel in wanton destruction and murder. You know of them because of obvious folk tailings and warnings that would be present in almost all lands against the followers of his order and against his cult, as he is a very evil and very, very, very dangerous demon from what you understand. Now, for... Well, Beryl, you only recognize the name via knowing that you've heard of something that is dangerous with that name before. Like something you had been warned about by the denizens of the Feywild. Isaac, what you know about Demogorgon is that Demogorgon is a demon prince that is one of the very powerful demons of the Abyss who has power tantamount to at least a god of intermediate tier, who has often had cultists rise up and be an issue in eastern Euclex. So not anywhere near Praxmore, but more to the east, near Gomor, near the southeast of the Zillion Empire. You know that they are a deadly group of individuals that follow Demogorgon, and you are aware of his depiction as a strange baboon-like hybrid lizard creature with two heads that you know vaguely of having separate personalities. And you know that he is a powerful demon prince that proclaims himself to be king of demons. Or demon king. As for Silas, you are aware that, sorry, it's Prince of Demons that he claims himself to be, I believe. I could be wrong in this one. Let me check. I have to double check this one. Because my fucking document. Yeah, he self-proclaimed the Prince of Demons. Or, from what you understand, self-proclaimed, Isaac. Silas, you know of Demogorgon. You know of his depiction, and you know of everything that I had said to Isaac. You are also aware of his realm, known as the Gaping Maw, one of the lower layers of the Abyss, and you know of his symbol, which is often depicted as a, where is it? A forked tail, often depicted as being wrapped around a skull or a sword. Yeah, okay. What else was it that you knew? And you knew that you know that he is in a long-standing conflict, as many demons are in the Abyss, with many other demon princes, for the title of the Prince of Demons, as they often fight and often do not like others claiming to be of higher position to them. And you are also aware that the two heads of Demogorgon are also constantly in a state of disarray and distrust for one another. But you then know everything that I said to Isaac and before as well. I'm trying to see if there's anything else you would know. I'm reading the thing. You know that because of his long-standing conflicts with most demon lords, demon princes, you find it strange that there would be a cult in conjoined worship to multiple demon princes. But again, You don't know the other names, so you're not sure. You think it might be possible that he could have allies, but you've never heard of any allies of Demogorgon at the very least. As I believe that was everyone that rolls that would know something. As moving forward, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Anything about the information I presented that wasn't clear? Anything I left out from last session that they thought was important that I should have put in the recap?
Just that Beryl helped Lady Ilsani with her head.
I did forget to add that, yes. I was going to at the end and I completely forgot. Yes, Beryl used one of her charges of her magic ability to give Lady Ilsani a spell slot, and then she used it to cast a lesser restoration on herself, which did work in helping mend the mental affliction. And I left out one thing as well, that the head maid went off and she sent out alleged missives or messages via magic toward Satanta and Lady Astray.
Does Silas have any concept of his power in compared to other demon lords or princes?
With a 20, you know that if he is not the strongest, he is one of the strongest demons.
Okay.
And that a lot of scholars present him as the strongest, and it's widely contended if he is not. And I suppose you could roll me history one more time if you want to see if Silas recalls, like, the other ones that are in contention for strongest. That's a good fucking roll. Okay, I'm not going to give you any more information aside from their names, unless you try to do something later with, getting their information, because we'd be here forever. But you know, firstly, of the Demon Prince Orcus, is one of the contended strongest of the Abyss. I just dropped my pen. Aside from that, let's see. There is sort of a big three when it comes to strength in the Abyss when people talk about contention. Demogorgon, Orcus, and then there is Gratz, the demon prince, another demon prince as well, who is known as the Shadow King via his title. Orcus's title was, where was it? Because I had it. Prince of Undead. Of Undeath, technically. And aside from his Prince of Demons, Demogorgon also goes by the Deep Father. So when talking about the strongest beings of the Abyss, those three are usually brought up as the strongest creatures from the Abyss.
So Orcus is Prince of Undeath and Deep Father?
No. Demogorgon is Deep Father.
Okay, that makes more sense. And Shadow Prince was Gratz?
Yes. And with your role, you are aware not of name, only of title, of another prince that is overlooked often, who is in fact the lord of the first layer of the Abyss. As you know, the title, the Dark Angel of the Four Winds, a demon prince of unknown actual name, of unknown true name, that is the lord of the first layer of the Abyss, that is called, I can pull up that name. Where is it? The Plane of Infinite Portals. As you know of the title of him, and you know of him, of them, only through strange indications in research of the Abyss, that the realm of this Dark Angel of the Four Winds is not often disturbed by other demons. It is in fact left untouched. So, there's that. Any other questions, comments before we move into properly moving things forward?
Just one thing, only because it might be relevant since we're going to bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac did use the empowered sign of ill omen during combat.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I have a tally sheet.
Oh shit. Okay.
Nice.
Nice. That's all.
Okay. Does anyone have a level of dread still?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So with your rests, okay. Do. Barrel, you've had yours for a bit now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Let me check. Yours was from the fight with the, strange creature, the Maud creature, correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've gotten a couple long rests since then. Yes, yours, does fade after this sleep. Isaac, was yours the same?
Mine was the same, yes.
Then yours does fade after this sleep. Astrid, yours was from, when you first, went with the serial killer thing. With the disturbing discovery there, correct?
Yeah. I think it was from when Isaac said, "Oh, what?" He
Correct.
was talking, and I was like,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Okay. So, give me 1 second to check what level of dread it was. It was, disturbed and what the DC was. Moderate, disturbing. Okay, and yours was not from a direct encounter with a creature. You can roll a wisdom saving throw at the end of your sleep.
"So can I do that now?"
You can do that now, and we'll see if that matters. Okay, that is a success, as at the end of your rest, after some slight disturbances in your sleep, dreaming once again of the unforgiving sea, you would awaken no longer feeling any... with the dread having disappeared, the feeling gone. Soul, you did not have any dread anymore, correct? You lost yours?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to double check. Okay, so come the conclusion of the long rest, the party should be dread-free. My next question is, amongst the groups of people, is there anything you all are doing, talking about, or just in general getting done before you head to sleep? As I give you all the stage, if you are doing something.
I guess Daryl will probably just spend, like, not even a full hour, maybe like 30, 45 minutes, reading. I think she had started on the Historical Chronicles of Destin.
Okay,
So I'll just keep reading that
sure.
and then go to sleep.
I have things for those later, but I've not been able to prepare them yet.
It's all good. I only just started reading it.
I didn't
Like,
expect this
the
party
night
to
before.
be so annoyingly interested in books.
I rolled the wrong character then.
A couple people who were interested in books were what I was expecting.
Ashton will play while Beryl reads, and then when Beryl finishes, she'll go to sleep as well.
Okay.
Isaac is going to originally cast Identify on the Song of Lost Carcosa book.
Not magical, does not have any magical properties on it.
Okay. Then he's going to flip to, like, the first blank page and just write his name in it, and then underneath it, he's gonna write Crystalline Maelstrom ? He's like making notes in it. He's gonna write his name and then any important notes that he feels like may be related to this book.
Sure. You do so.
That'd be it.
Carolina will catch up on more reading about the history of tieflings.
Yes, everyone with the reading.
Soul would start in on the stone jungles of Euclix.
Correct, yeah. Anyone else want to talk about how much they're reading?
I mean, I'm not reading.
It is real annoyance, by the way. I did not expect this much reading. Don't stop doing it, but don't expect too much from it. That's all I want to say.
I'm Jared, I'm 19, and I never learned how to read.
At least someone didn't.
Unless Josie looks like she needs someone to talk to, Silas is going straight into meditation.
Okay. For people that meditate, are you going to assumedly stay the full 8 hours waiting before everyone else to awaken?
No.
Okay. What are you doing come the end of your meditation?
Looking for our dear lady.
You would learn that she's not awake.
I'm assuming there's a public area and somewhat near the bedrooms.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly call anything in her home a public area, but there are, like, living rooms and such.
Okay, a social space.
Yes.
Whatever the nearest space of that kind, so I was just gonna sit and keep a thought about things of the past while waiting for her to wake up.
Okay. Josie, are you sleeping and meditating? And if you're meditating, what are you doing after?
I'm meditating. I will stay in the room after, but I'd like to continue working on fixing the misfire on the gun.
Okay, which you were at like 70% of, correct? Right?
Yes.
Or was it 75?
It was 70.
Okay. So you can roll another scavenger's gunsmith's tools, and maybe there'll be a big
reveal.
Big reveal.
I will say she is being particularly careful because she is aware that she is in a room with someone who is sleeping.
That's fine.
So there is an effort to not make things make too much noise.
You just hear a bang, and there's a hole in the wall.
With that being the case, then roll me a sleight of hand check to see. Well, you could roll stealth actually. Well, the base stealth, roll doesn't change.
It would be a +7 instead of a +4, so still pretty bad.
So it'd still be not good. 9. Okay. So this wasn't to see if you could be quiet working. You certainly can be. It's just your work has been impeded by it. And because of that, you only gain an additional 10% of work done. So it is at 80% now.
Still very good.
Well, still very good considering you're so close to the finish line, but
yes,
you'd have a different opinion if it was, say, like at 40% still. Or something like that. Nonetheless, yeah, you're closer to the finish line now, but, you know, attempting to be kind and not wake up Isaac impedes your workload somewhat, and you're just going to keep doing that until, assumedly, okay. Astrid, you sleep, correct?
Yeah, Astra's doing the full sleep 8 hours.
Okay. And there's been opportune time for anyone, if they wanted to say they were doing something during their pre-sleep, to say something. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that we're moving forward, going to post 8 hours. Unless I'll give one more chance if anyone wanted to say anything, but... Okay. Unless I think, Soul, you also meditate, or are you doing anything after your meditation finishes?
Prayer. That's it.
Okay. Then 8 hours pass by, so an additional 4 more for those who meditated before people wake up. And at people waking up, I'm moving forward, operating under the assumption that people do seek out the lady to see the progress on her, to see if you could move forward. And you would find from the head maid that Lady Ilsani, despite how well she looked yesterday, despite how well she was able to speak to you all, especially after mending her mind, is still badly hurt, and that she will likely not be in a state to speak or do anything of important work until she is fully rested by tomorrow. So you would get that information from the lady head maid of the household, not from Lady Ilsani herself, as she would bar any of you from going to see her. And if any of you would try to insight check that, you can roll insight. In case there's anyone that, say, doesn't trust the head maid. Hard to tell anything, Silas, from looking her over. Astrid, you could, and Astrid and Carolina as well, you could assuredly tell that whatever barring she is doing is done from concern and not from any sort of malicious place. But you would be told that regarding the state of Lady Ilsani. As you would then technically have the rest of the day to do what you needed to do, and after 8 hours, it would be near the end of the afternoon, but not quite the end of it yet. So, what would you all like to do?
I have some light shopping, but also I want to go check the town, see if there's anything, or at least maybe talk to a guard or something, see if anything else has been destroyed or damaged.
Okay, so you're gonna go do some light shopping, and you're looking for an update on the town situation.
Right.
Easy enough. Is anyone else wanting to accompany Isaac on that venture, doing light shopping and finding out more about the state of the town?
Yes, Astrid wants to do that.
Okay.
Soul would go as well.
Soul would,
Carol, too.
so Soul, Carolina as well, okay.
Actually, also going.
Okay. Silas, would you be accompanying them?
If Josie's going, I'll even make this like it would be more noticeable to everyone else. Silas seems more attentive to where Josie is and what she's doing than he normally does. He normally just knowing she's somewhere around is good enough. That's not the case right now, and so definitely going.
Okay. So, what are you seeking out to do first? Heading to the market district to do some light shopping, or heading to a specific shop you're looking for, or are you going to try and, say, find someone to update you on the situation? But to set the scene first, as you exit Lady Osani's and head into town, with the storm clouds still blocking out the sun, it is hard to tell that it is afternoon, in fact. The ground is muddied and wet from the rain having come down before, but the rain has since ceased since about an hour ago. But the storm clouds still linger above. As you walk about the town, it is the quietest and emptiest you've ever seen it before. As the only people out are people who are tending to what look like physical, manual labor work, and what looks like some very rare people who are in the midst of going about their daily day. Whereas most folk you do not see about the streets in the area. And you would see, in fact, passing by any inns or taverns or like areas like that, they are packed to the brim, and you can see what look like folk that likely would be at work at this hour in their homes now for the day instead of out and about as you would move about. And you would see what look like a shocking lack of guard in the central areas of the town, though there are what look like sparse patrols looking out, keeping an eye out around, just watching along the sides of the town, though you can tell you've been in this town long enough that you know that the normal patrol of guards, there is a lot more. So what would you seek out for the first part of your venture?
I guess, let me just ask the group out of character. Do you guys want to just do some shopping first? Does everyone have something in mind?
I mean, I don't really have anything. I'm down to be present and just kind of keep an eye on things as we walk around.
There are a couple things like I was thinking of getting, but like in character, I would want to know about the safety of the town first, and like make sure everything's okay first.
Yeah, I would seek out a guard first, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know exactly what I need to buy, so that can be 1, 2, 3.
Roll me a D100, Isaac.
Sure.
This will determine something. Okay. Zach, were you going to say something?
yeah, I was gonna ask, have we established yet amongst the group if there's anywhere that would currently have stock potions?
Don't think you've ever looked to buy potions in town. I think the only person who did was Silas. At the Dragon's Tinctures that was then, popped.
Right. Then that's what I would be, looking out for, aside from, you know...
Well, we'll get to that after the initial guard interaction.
Yep.
As Isaac, you would go to approach guard, who would look over to you all wearily as you approach. But then you'd see some recognition in his eyes as you all would approach, as he'd lower his heavy crossbow to not a resting position, but a defensive, defensive position that's not pointed out toward you all. As this guard, what looks like a dwarven woman, would look up toward you all, and she'd go, "You all are those folk that Captain Galtra has been interacting with a lot, who helped out with the mayor and such, right?"
That's correct. That would be us.
I thought I recognized, just so you getting chewed out by Captain Galtra a couple times.
That would also be us. But I was just wondering if you had an update on the town, if anything else was attacked or destroyed or missing, or...
The attacks have stopped for hours now. By this point, we've moved to trying to help people as best we can. There have been minimal civilian casualties or injuries, but there were a couple, and a whole lot of guards that are hurt. Market District has turned into a sort of a makeshift tent by this point, to try and mend whatever people they can.
How's
No,
how's Captain Galtra doing herself?
I can't say. Personally, I've been on patrol, so I've not been with her. Last time I saw her, she was not looking too good. Probably bearing down on her all the shit that happened. Don't envy being in the position of captain when, the amount of, dead there is present.
So besides the attacks at the gate and the lady's manor, there have been no other disturbances, let's call them, in the town?
The other gate attacks that happened around the same time for each of them. And even then, the other gates only got attacked once or twice if you were really unlucky. Main gate got attacked at least 4 times. South gate got attacked at least 4 times.
And I assume the festival's been cancelled.
I'm gonna assume that's a joke.
It was.
No, festival's cancelled. Fuck, everything was put on hold. I mean, got an execution done earlier, but that was only because, well, it was earlier in the day before all this shit happened.
So the serial killer was executed.
Yeah. It was real short notice. Can't say I know why it happened as soon as it did.
Do you know if... I don't know if you would know this, but do you know what was done with his remains if his last wishes were honored? I heard from...
But I don't know if anything was done with his remains. He died, and then hours later, this shit happened. I'd imagine they're still holding on to his corpse, because they probably couldn't get it out of town. But I don't know anything about what his last wish was, or what they plan on doing with the body.
Alright, well, unless anybody else has any questions, thank you for your assistance, and I'm sorry that we couldn't do more for you. For the guards, that is.
One last question. The attacks on the gate, nothing got through to the inner parts of the city, right?
That was the issue with the civilian casualties. When the attacks first happened on the east gate, gate got broken through. There were a couple wounded that happened as that unfortunately got caught by the ogres rushing through. Sorry, was it East Gate? No, it would have been fuck, I'm so bad at compasses. I believe this gate is northeast, correct?
Yeah.
So this gate is the one she's talking about? When the northeastern gate got hit, they pushed through real hard and got into the city. Got a couple casualties from civilians once they forced their way through, unfortunately.
Any, I mean, you know, the loss of any life is tragic, but anyone notable in town that might have been killed?
I mean, if you're trying to find that out, you'd likely have to head to where all the tending to the dead and mending of the wounds is being done near the market district. If you want my sincere opinion, I think that that's not the most tactful idea to do it, though. Unless you're looking for a loved one or something like that.
No, I don't have family in town, but,
And if you're just looking to satiate curiosity, I'd not do anything like that.
You're right, that's probably a bad idea. What about outside the town? Do you know of any damage besides where the Pillar of Light was coming from?
No idea. You know, there's a couple people that live outside the town that we haven't gotten the chance to check in on. That dark elf fella. Guy at the Temple of the Raven Queen. And then, of course, the small towns we just have outside for the farmers. That was what the next step was. They were sending people out to check in on them. I can't say I know, though.
I don't have any other questions if you don't, Isaac, or if anyone else doesn't.
No, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Hopefully it wasn't a waste of time, because hopefully nothing else is happening.
Maybe that's for the best for now.
So what do you all do?
I guess we'll just continue. Isaac wants to look for someplace to buy potions, and also wants to buy better armor. We could do that last. We could do that right now. It could be very quick.
So let's get... What are people trying to buy right now? Isaac is looking for potions, armor.
Yeah.
Barrel's looking for potions, so that's in the potion section. Anything else?
I was looking for maybe like a small crossbow or something.
So you're looking for a weapon?
Yeah. And
Healing.
crossbows.
Healing potion reagents.
That would fall into the healing potion category.
And gems.
Just normal gems?
Like diamonds specifically should be looking for.
Okay, so you're trying to buy spell components.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, potions, armor, weapons, spell components. Anything else?
Store.
Hmm?
Go, Alex.
Austin wants to visit a botanist or gardening shop.
Okay.
Gun store.
Okay.
Jesse
So...
wants to go to Bass Pro Shop.
I'm gonna need 60 100s rolled, and I'm gonna have to break them up between several different people. So Isaac, why don't you roll a D100? Soul, why don't you roll a D100? Josie, why don't you roll a D100? Astrid, why don't you roll a G100? Carolina, why don't you roll one? Beryl, why don't you roll one? And you know what? Let's just have Silas roll one too.
I was gonna ask if I need to roll anything for keeping a keen eye out.
That's just a perception check. I don't know why I had you roll the
boy.
D100. You didn't need to. It's just funny.
Oh, not about some. He certainly is distracted.
Okay. So going down the list, Isaac, to purchase armor, you would find no shop is open for that, as you would go to each shop that you would expect to be a blacksmith to carry armor, even general suppliers, and you would find that there is in fact nothing open for that. So going down afterward, Astrid, unfortunately for your search for a botanist of sort, you would be able to in fact find that there is nothing open as well. And I don't feel as though I need to explain any further why they're not open, but I will point out that the amount of people not out and the amount of doors closed is pretty indicative that what happened in town has had led people to close shops early or to just not open in general.
Insert joke about boomers being outraged that people aren't open on holidays.
However, Josie, the gun store that you have frequented a couple times is still going to be open. Soul, you were looking for spell components, as a magic item shop would in fact be open. However, for healing potion shops are not available. And Carolina, if you're just looking for a mundane weapon, you would in fact be able to find a weapon supplier, but there also may be something inside the magic item shop if you're looking there.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the magic item shop first.
So, of the things that are open, what shopping would be getting done first?
Well, multiple people want, like, potions, right? And usually the magic shop was open, so I'd say...
Oh, it's certainly a magic shop.
Well, yeah, so I'd say, since that benefits multiple of us, I'd say that would be my choice for the first place.
You, in fact, might be able to find healing potions at a magic shop, too. Just not a normal healing potion place. As you would certainly arrive outside a very large magic shop, made with brick, building the building up. It's about 3 stories tall. As outside of it, there is a honeycomb design on the sign as you stand before the Hive. One of the only shops that remains open in the current climate of the city.
Capitalism.
Costco.
As what do you all do?
Venture inside.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, we met this dude at the beginning of the...
Alum, I believe. Maybe that's different.
Jake, I would take a peek inside to see if everything looks normal, and then just stay outside the door, keeping a watch out.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Valorant.
You did in fact meet this man, didn't you? Alright. As you open the doors and enter inside of the Hive shop, as the doors open, you instantly find yourself inside a cool room. Sorry, not a hot room, it's winter. A well-heated room that is lit very well by magical lights floating about this set up almost like a general store around these large, tall shelves that have what look like cards, carved wooden cards sitting atop the shelves as you enter inside. As you walk in, there is a counter where what looks like a woman dressed in a uniform stands, as you see what looks like a yellowish, sort of like a honeyish color uniform. What looks like a sort of not as fancy or not as expensive suit that this elven woman, likely a wood elf, is wearing, with tannish brown skin and short, what looks like dark hair behind the counter, with emerald green eyes, as she stands there very clearly, to most people, a bit shaken and not happy to be there. As you all would enter and her eyes would move toward the front, and there'd be a slight, like, flinch in her body looking toward the front. But upon just seeing normal folk entering in, you would, for a moment, see a sigh of relief before she almost completely, in a second, swaps to a much brighter demeanor, with a wide smile on her face as she goes, "Oh, I did not expect to have people come in today. Welcome to the Hive. Is this your first time here? I don't recognize you all."
Yeah, it is for most of us, I believe. If not all.
One second. Well, I'm Associate Liara, and here at the Hive, we pride ourselves in our customer satisfaction and the freedom and openness to help customers in whatever they need. If you need, take a look around the shop, and if there's anything you like, of course, grab the card and bring it over, and I can hopefully fetch the item for you. If you need any assistance, I'm here. As she would look each of you over, and anyone who's trying to, like, discern anything about her can roll an insight as she looks you each over. What does Beryl know about insight?
She's very insightful.
It feels like someone is trying to sell me something.
I've got proficiency in it, I swear.
Josie and Soul, you would see that when she went over each of you, there was like a concern still as she was looking behind you all toward the door, but would in fact see how well armed you all are. And there'd be still some caution obvious to demeanor, but she looks a bit more at ease. This would be the name. Associate Liara.
Errol just thinks she's just one of the happiest employees.
And obviously, to Josie and Soul, obvious front for selling, and she's clearly in a lot more of a nervous mood.
Josie doesn't know much, but she knows a customer service voice when she hears one.
She probably had to hear a lot of them. A lot of people back at home give off the same sort of vibe where they work.
Beryl would approach the counter. Hi there. Name's Beryl. Well, we were all hoping, I think, that maybe you might have some healing potions available.
I believe there might be some healing potions in stock. If you could go check what is aisle number 6 over there, there should be some cards available. We did have a buyer come in and purchase some recently, so we're a bit limited on our stock, but there should be some left there. As she would point over to a numbered by a what looks like metal with what looks like a arcane engraving on it lane in between several of the shelves, sort of like what you'd expect from a supermarket in real life in some ways.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious. I'll go check down that aisle.
Okay. Are you looking for healing potions?
Yeah. Amongst like other, like anything that like catches my eye. Just like reading like cards as I pass by.
Okay.
I'm just strictly looking for healing.
Alrighty. As you would in fact find what looks like a set of cards, what looks like 3 cards lined up behind each other that list greater healing potions at the price of 300 GP per potion. No, sorry. That's not correct. It's 450 GP per potion. As any of you reading that know that that is double the amount you would usually pay for a healing potion if you have purchased potions before.
Beryl does not know that.
For that level of potion. Aside from that, anything that catches your eye in that aisle? Well, it is the potions aisle, so let me roll something.
Fleeko.
I will give it a chance to have some nice things, possibly.
Good.
So you would see that there are 4 other items on this shelf currently, and rest of it is sold out for the most part. Nothing's been filled back up. As you would see a card for a potion of climbing, a scroll of magic missile, a scroll of ray of sickness, and a scroll of resistance. Priced at 180 for the potion, 120 for the scroll. Sorry, 180 for the potion is correct. 240 for the scroll, 240 for the scroll after, and then what is 100 GP for the last scroll of resistance. And anyone accompanying them would know that resistance is a cantrip, seeing that price. And any of you that use any caster accompanying them, seeing that would know that 100 gold for a cantrip scroll is absolutely ridiculous, in fact.
Beryl's gonna look over the potions cards and just kind of lean over to Carolina and say, I think I can only afford 2 of these. And she's just gonna gently pick up the 2 cards.
Who else wanted to know about potions? And these scrolls seem pretty cheap.
I don't know much about that sort of thing. Are they good?
These prices, they are outrageous, and I am not paying them. Oh, you don't know what they're
Well, you can show the others the potion cards if you want. There's something else I need to look for here. If you don't mind me. And I guess I'll head back to the counter.
Sure.
What about crossbows and crossbow bolts?
You're looking to purchase some crossbows and crossbow bolts. Ranged weaponry is in aisle 8, and there would be ammunition in that aisle as well.
Alright, so I guess I'll go check there.
Okay.
Josie would follow Carolina down that aisle.
See if there's any guns or anything of the sort.
Might. Or fancy ammo.
Fair enough.
Fancy ammo's always good.
Fair enough. Okay. As you go over and look through that, Carolina, you see a wide variety of different crossbows available, mundane and such for the most part, or mastercraft for the most part. But you would as well see what looks like 2 magical crossbows available. As there is one simply called Bolt that is on the card that appears to be, from what you can see, a crossbow made entirely of metal that has lightning etched on it and is loaded with a crossbow bolt made of lightning. As you can read from its card, and it would tell you what it does, and I will translate into mechanical terms, that it is a very rare crossbow that has a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with the weapon, and on hit you deal an additional 1d6 lightning damage to any target hit by it, if you're using a normal crossbow bolt, and as well, if you are targeting a creature wearing metal, the extra damage becomes 2d6, and you have advantage on the attack. However, the crossbow does, in fact, act as a lightning rod, and if someone takes lightning damage near you from something aside from your crossbow, it bounces to you and deals 1d6 lightning damage to you. Within 10 feet of you.
Is this... It's a regular crossbow or a hand crossbow?
This would be a heavy crossbow.
Okay.
And as well, actually, I forgot to read this part off. Normal bolts just do the 1d6 extra lightning damage on hit, but the crossbow can also produce its own bolts, made entirely of lightning without using ammunition. That just does all lightning damage.
I'm not proficient in heavy crossbows.
Are you not?
Unless it counts as a simple weapon.
Nope, sorry, actually. Okay, it is a heavy crossbow, but actually it is, it does apply to any crossbow skeleton. So it can be a light crossbow or a normal crossbow.
Yeah. I have hand crossbow proficiency. How much is that?
How much is that, you ask me? It is... Give me one moment. About 2,500 gold.
But I probably would have put it at.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
There is as well another crossbow.
Before I even like read the description of the other crossbow, I want to look at the price tag of it.
The price tag of the other crossbow is priced at 950 GP.
Alright.
I'm gonna look at the mundane crossbow prices.
Okay. Are you looking for like mastercrafted and upgrade?
Yeah, like a hand crossbow.
Okay. Or +1. They're not mastercrafted. They're magically enchanted. So they would count as dealing magical damage. So +1 crossbows run you about 450 GP, and then +2 crossbows run you about 800.
And how much are the bolts themselves? Walk down to the sea.
Roll me a d20 -1, -19.
Okay.
Aside from mundane crossbow bolts that are priced at normal market price, they can't get away with ripping you off for that one. There is a set of special crossbow arrows that come in packs of 30 crossbow bolts only. As you see, these crossbow bolts are fire-touched crossbow bolts that, on a hit, deal an additional 3d6 fire damage, but are destroyed afterward. Target makes a Constitution save and takes half of the damage on success. And the DC is 14. And they are 30 crossbows per pack, and they cost about 200 GP each pack. And there are only what looks like 4 packs.
So, before anything else, so when I use my short bow, I can apply sneak attack to it. I can do the same with like a crossbow.
Correct.
So then,
It'd be pretty fucky if you couldn't.
Yeah. How much did you say the fire touched ones were, the pack?
200 GP per pack.
And how much is the regular pack of crossbow bolts?
Regular pack of crossbow bolts, I'd have to check the normal fucking book crossbow bolt price. I think a crossbow bolt case, which has 10 of them in there, is 10 GP. Yeah. Coming with the case and the bolts, it's about 10 GP they're selling these for.
Okay. You said the Mastercraft +1 was 450?
Yes.
Okay. How much does the hand crossbow do?
I think it's D6.
Okay.
Hand crossbow, yeah.
Right, it would do magic damage though, because it's magically enhanced. Right?
Yes, and it would be a +1 to hit and damage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the Mastercraft one, and I'll take
magic. The +1. It's just magic enchanted +1.
Yeah, the +1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take 2 cases of the normal crossbow bolts.
Okay.
So give me a second.
So that is going to be 470 gold so far.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna take for now.
Not buying any of the special crossbow bolts?
No.
Okay. As if that's your conclusion to the shopping. Josie, if you're looking about, you don't see any, like, gun stuff in there, set up. I had rolled for it.
That's alright. This isn't the gun store.
No, it's not. Anyone else who's here in this building doing shopping, what are you buying? Beryl, are you going to be buying these healing potions?
Upon hearing Soul say that the prices are outrageous, how do you mean outrageous? What?
About what they usually are. Would you like to pay for 2 now, or use the same money and have me make 8?
You can make 8 of these.
I can make as many as you want.
Oh,
I just
all
need
right.
the materials and time.
I mean, I don't have any right now, so I was just, But if you can make them, that's great. Beryl will place the cards back on the shelves.
Okay.
Cole would look for diamonds.
Yes.
See if they have any.
As you are able to find what looks like 2 cards for Revivified Diamonds that are being uppriced at their cost to what looks like 700 gold. At least I think.
Piece?
Well, one second. I'm trying to remember if I'm correct in this. Okay, sorry.
5 diamonds are 300.
Yes,
normally.
it would be
Fine.
500 gold per piece. 2 Revivified Diamonds that are being priced at 500 GP. A piece.
You would walk away from the cards.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Isaac would inquire about armor. And if she points out what the aisle is, he would go to the aisle and look at only
As
the
she would
stuff.
say, unfortunately, we don't have a stock of armor. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, sir. Our, well, the person who was delivering our goods never showed up.
Well, let's hope it didn't fall off the wagon.
She smiles.
In that case, can you point me to, out of character, what would be like? He's going to describe like miscellaneous magical items that maybe someone would buy as a gift or a novelty for somebody else.
You're just trying to buy
I want to browse
magic
yeah.
items?
Yeah, I want to browse their selection of cheap magic items. Trinkets. Thank you.
Do they need to do something, or are you just buying this for the purpose of the rod?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
He wants a gag gift.
He wants to get.
I mean, if you're doing that, then how many are you looking for?
Just one with like, an okay fair enchantment on it.
If you spend 400 gold pieces, you can get something of fair magical power that is basically just a trinket.
Yeah, that's too much. Forget it. Then in that case, he would he would he wouldn't get anything.
Because the magic items have a use still, and they're still going to be charged for
Yeah,
such
no, of
things.
course.
In the type of store that makes custom magic items, so you can't get a very simple enchantment.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else looking to buy something? I'm going to take that as a no. As Soul, you move... not Soul, sorry, Carolina, you move to check everything out, as you're going to be charged 470 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, ma'am. Would that be all?
Yeah. I don't think I really have anything else in mind.
Would you like to spend an additional 100 gold pieces to become a part of the Hive drone service? It allows you to rack up discounts for further purchases at Hive branch stores.
How many Hive branch stores like everywhere?
You've seen a lot in your days. In like bigger cities usually. There's usually not one in like towns unless they're a bigger town.
How do points rack up?
Points rack up via purchases. Depending on the what you are purchasing, you'll get a set amount of points based off of the set rarity of said items.
I do travel a lot, so yeah, I'll buy the membership.
Excellent. That'll be an additional 100 gold pieces then. As you would purchase the items, she would take out what looks like a wand, and she would take the wand over each of the boards, each of the cards, and as she presses the wand against it, magic would surge up from it, and the image on the card would disappear from each of the wand, and its magic would glow, and then they would take out what looks like a small, metal, honeycomb, icon. Like a little metal honeycomb trinket. She would place the wand against the trinket, and you would see it surge as it begins to glow. And then she would go, and what would be the name? And what would be your name for the purposes of the membership?
Carolina.
As you would see her move the wand a bit, as if writing a name out, and then the honeycomb would just glow faintly, and then the faint glow would stop, and it would just remain there in the counter. Then she would go fetch your items and present them over to you with the honeycomb, and go, and that is everything for you. I hope that you found shopping here at the Hive convenient and easy.
Yes, thank you.
She just smiles and nods at you. Is anyone else purchasing anything or doing anything?
They have a tip jar.
No.
I don't want to get her in trouble. I'm not going to do anything.
Do they have a leave a copper, take a copper?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was asking because I don't think she's paid well.
Okay. So are all of you going to leave? Alright.
Yeah.
As you go to head out, she would give you all a bow and go, "Have a wonderful day."
You too.
As you all would step outside, where Silas is waiting.
She seemed nice.
Yeah. A bit,
I like your choice of music, Jake.
Thank you.
what was that from?
Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. That's yeah. I like how, that store is laid out. I never really been in one of those stores before.
Now you have reason to go into more. You bought a membership.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll come in handy sooner or later.
That was highway robbery. Ugh.
One of the times.
Seller's market, I suppose.
Soul, roll me a D100.
Who?
Soul. Okay. Go on.
Isaac doesn't have anything else to do, but he does want to walk past the Sorcerer's Library and just see if it's intact. I mean, I know that you're told that nothing else was attacked, but he just wants to make sure that Roger, the robot, is still outside.
Well, other people have shopping to do as well.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because Josie has to go to the gun store. Which we can make quick, as we did every time. What are you looking to buy?
She would like to buy roughly 20 more ammos.
Okay.
Bullets. Those are called bullets.
That's alright. You can call them ammos if you like. I just wouldn't recommend having Josie say it.
No, she would say bullets. She knows. She knows what gun parts are called.
Ammos, please.
I would lose all credibility. And then she would take a cursory look around to see if there is any... The same thing she was looking for last door. Any interesting or magical guns or any magical and
you've
notable
been here
ammo.
before, and you've been here before, and you know that like they have just basic like stock.
Yeah.
Basic. Because they wouldn't have anything particularly special.
I didn't think so, but 20-ish ammo.
Yeah. Frankly, with the amount of odd shops there is in this town, you guys have gotten lucky with some of the things you could buy. Wolford is not a big place. Okay. Was there anyone else who had to do shopping that actually had a store that was open? No, I don't think so. I think that's everyone.
I don't think
You
Okay.
forget
What's up?
tickets.
Tickets?
Tickets.
You want to stop by Tickets?
Yes.
Let me 2D100. I'll go with whatever's better for you.
How much does 20 ammo cost?
5 GP.
Okay.
Oh, Jake, I meant to ask this at the end of last session, but I pulled a little coin purse off of the Merchant Guild representative. How much would have been in that?
Oh, you kept it. That's right.
I did keep it, yeah.
I guess nobody was aware enough in that room. About 1,500 GP.
Okay! Alright, 1,500.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
As you picked...
I'm upset.
Since I was helping him investigate the body, would I know he had the coin purse?
Sure. Because I don't have the brain power to make it more complex than it is with how late this got brought up, unfortunately. So sure you
I
would.
apologize. It was at the end of the session.
It's okay.
We'll say
Yeah,
though,
I just got-
Silas, that
So-
we got very distracted by the thing on the neck soon after.
Silas hasn't said anything to you about it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Bookstore's not open when you stop by it.
Is the robot outside?
No.
Okay.
And
One
Tikka's.
still standing.
If you all move past Tikka's, you would in fact see that Tikka's does not appear closed. You would hear the sound of metal being hit upon from inside. Would you be entering Seoul?
Yep.
As you would see, Tikka has described a couple times you've met her at work. Are the rest of you going in as well?
Yeah, if only to see she's okay.
Okay. As
Do the same thing you did at the magic place.
that's fine, I assumed as much, Silas. As looking up to see some of the people she knows, she would nod toward Astrid and Josie and look to the rest of you and go, "Didn't expect to actually have customers come in today." She just brings the hammer down again and goes, "How can I help you?"
Hola. I need a special enchantment. I am not sure if it even exists, but
No enchantment exists until it's made, lady.
true. I am a user of fire and I do not wish to hurt my friends. Is there something that would help me avoid them in combat?
She takes a breath of air. She smacks her hammer against what looks like a sword that's being forged. She'd look up to you and she'd go, "You're looking for an effect that protects your friends from your explosive magic, then, huh?
Yes.
How many people are you looking to protect from it?"
If possible, 6?
More people you're looking to protect, the more difficult the enchantment's gonna be. The more time it's gonna take. She bangs against the thing again. And the more expensive it'll be. So, operating off of you wanting to get it to work for 6, it'd only be able to work a couple times a day. It's not something you'll be able to just do. Though, maybe if you find Master Evocation magic user, who also happens to dabble in arcane smithing, you might be able to get something better out of him. But operating under the assumption you're going to want to get a good amount of uses out of a day of it, so about 5, is that correct? Or you want lower or higher? 5 is usually the general rule people go with for enchanting, though, for when they want a good amount. Okay. As she smacks the hammer again. So for 5 uses, and for 6 creatures, that's going to be expensive. That'd run you about 5,500 gold.
How much for 3?
3 people, 3
Creature.
uses? Or just 3 people?
Just 3 people.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I have math set up for this, in fact, actually. I didn't think you'd go for this type of enchantment, but I was able to calculate it at the very least, how much I would charge for it in my head. That's going to go down to about 3,000 gold. With the 5 uses. You cut it down to 3 uses as well, I'll charge you 1,200 for you. It'll take less time to make 2 like that.
Well then, I am sorry for wasting your time. I do not have the funds right now.
Oh, do you need money?
Even if you gave me the remainder, I would be broke.
Oh, Well, I'm just letting you know if you need anything. I don't really use it that much. I don't really need it for anything, I guess, aside from, you know, the potions you're gonna make, but
She
if you're ever short for anything, just let me know.
She lowers the hammer and she's in the midst of forging and looks up toward you, Soul. She goes, "You're a fire magic user, right?"
Yes.
Let me offer you a deal. If you can help me out with an issue that the forge is having due to some, problems with the heat, then I'll slice the price for the 3.5.
Okay, sure. How can I help you?
Well, usually this wouldn't be a problem, because I have a business owner who, business partner who assists with maintaining the forges. But see, that business partner has become a little bit of a lazy bitch recently. And one of the forges isn't heating as well as it usually does, because she hasn't taken the time to bring up the flame. As she would stand up, and she would gesture over to the left forge, as she goes, "This one over here usually burns a lot hotter than it usually does. It's been a real pain in the ass that it doesn't, because it takes me about double the time it usually would now to heat something to where I need it to be. Like I said, if it wasn't for the lazy bitch business partner, I'd probably be able to get this fixed without the help of others. But you walked in at a lucky time. You helped me out with this. I'll cut it in half for you."
No problem. Sure.
As she will walk toward the forge, gesture for you to follow forward.
Mm-hmm.
As she would lead toward the back of the large iron forge. As toward the back, you would see on what looks like a doorway at the back. Not a doorway, but like, well, it is a doorway. In the middle of the forge, on the back of it, that has a massive arcane circle right at the side of the handle to pull it open. As you'd see her walk over with hammer and what looks like a pick, as she would take the arcane hammer and hover it over the circle with the pick, and she would just slam it down and the circle would fade, and then she would reach down and take one of her gloves off the side of her pant leg, and take the handle and just pull it open, struggling a bit as she does, as you can hear her pull against it. As it pulls open, and inside you can see a blazing, what you can definitely tell is magical flame filling inside of this massive forge that shoots up through the pipeways that is controlled as well via magic. And it is not burning, it's burning pretty bright as you look inside of it, and you see the magical flame before you. She goes, "You helped me with this, and deal's yours."
Okay. She would nod and start using Flaming Sphere.
At what level?
Starting at 3rd level.
Okay, so with a 3rd level Flaming Sphere, that is upcasted, correct? Because Flaming Sphere is 2nd level.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so the 3rd level Flaming Sphere, upcasting it is your magic flares and surges. Give me a wisdom check. As you burn against it and you see some of your rainbow flame mixing with the normal flame inside, but it is not increasing the intensity of it, you can tell, particularly by much, with just what you threw in there. You do see it rise up some, but it still doesn't rise up a particularly that great amount. But as you look that over, you can roll me a wisdom check, unless you have a thing that lets you Arcana, and if it's better for you.
I have Arcana.
Okay, go ahead for Arcana then. Yeah, as you sense the magic within the thing, within the forge, with what you just did in mind and trying to figure out the magic inside, you're able to tell that usually the flame used to enhance this forge is of 5th circle or better. You don't think it's of better, but it's likely a 5th circle. And you know that through use of maybe combined magic that could equal that sphere, it could increase the flame, or if you just use that sphere of magic, it could as well. But you don't know the exact spell used to do it.
Okay. Wait, how large is the forge itself around?
The forge itself is about 30 feet wide.
Okay. So she would start by using another flaming sphere, this time at 2nd level.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
6 seconds later, while that's still going, she would cast a fireball and then use Intensify Combustion.
Okay, if you're doing that, you don't need to roll. As you use the combination of spells that you know, you blast your magic in and unleash your powerful flame. As your rainbow flame mixes with the brilliant orange flame inside and then overtakes it. As it bursts out for a moment, the flame outside of the doorway, causing the two of you to have to step back for a moment as it does, as the flame burns at a new high intensity inside the forge. As she just gives a smirk and nods and goes, "Oh, thank the fucking gods above that someone could do it." And then she takes the doorway and she just slams it shut, takes the hammer and slams it again as the magic circle appears. And she goes, "That was a real pain in the ass. It's gonna cut my workload in half. Thanks."
Glad I could assist.
And she's gonna start walking back over toward her seat by her forge, by the anvil. Would you follow?
Mm-hmm.
As she sits back down and goes, "So this enchantment, 3 for 3, 600 GP." She goes back to hitting against the weapon. As you would see her put the blade inside the forge for a moment before doing it to heat it up again. What do you want it on?
A ring?
You supplying the item, or am I gonna have to get one myself?
I don't have a ring.
It's gonna be an extra 20 gold piece. No, sorry, that's not this. For a ring. It's gonna be another 1 GP. You know what? Fuck
Would
it.
she be able to take one of the pieces of jewelry off of her person?
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess she'd give her, like, a bracelet.
Okay. Alright. So at 600 GP, and with my workload not being fucking awful anymore, this will take me about 3 days. Give or take.
She nods and hands her the 600 gold as well.
She'll take the 600 gold. I'll have it done in about those days. Might be earlier, depending on how well the new forge works. 3 days is an estimation. Could be about 2. It could even be 1 if we get real lucky.
She nods and she kind of gives like a deep bow and says, "Gracias, tica."
She just nods to you. Looks over the rest of you. Anything else you, bozos need?
I just wanted to make sure you were alright.
Why wouldn't I be?
A lot's been going on. I just wanted to check.
Shit happens all the time. It's kind of what living is. Things never stop happening. Appreciate the concern, though. Does anyone else that have anything they would like to ask of Tika?
Yeah, I inquired earlier to her about enchanting the broken pocket watch that my father gave me to have +1 AC.
Mm-hmm.
What would that cost and what would the time be?
Do just want it to be +1?
Yeah, unless you could give me an estimate for +2. I mean, I would just like to know the prices.
I mean, would you ask?
Yeah, I'd ask.
So +1 would run you about 500 gold pieces, and then +2 is 1,000.
Okay, and what would be the estimated time on the one AC?
+1 would take her about half a day. +2 would take her about a full day.
Yeah, I'd pay her the 500 and give her the broken pocket watch from my father
Okay.
for +1 AC.
Okay, so take your 500 gold off, and then you will get your broken pocket watch +1 AC. Just to AC? Or are you going for a +1 enchantment? A +1 enchantment is +1 to AC and saving throws. But if it's just AC, it would be cheaper, I just realized now.
Would it be 500 for +1 in saving throws?
Yeah, no. I gave you the price for +1 to saving throws and AC, because that's what the +1 enchantment costs.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
Okay. Because it'd be a lot cheaper for just AC.
No, like, yeah, I like the idea of it with saving throws.
Okay, that's fine then.
Being a his father and shit.
Alrighty. So it'll take about half a day for +1 and 500 GP. Anyone else asking anything of the good old Tika? Your creativity is the only limit here.
That is true.
And you guys do have that sometimes.
I am completely drawing a blank all of a sudden.
God, I wish Silas was in a shopping mood mindset.
Alright. So with that being the case, it sounds like no one else is speaking up for anything they want from Tikas. As you all would leave and step outside, what is your next plan of action? Or are you just going to call it in for the day? I have to pee, so save that note. I'm gonna go do that really quick. I'm not gonna call break yet, because I'll be 1 second.
Yeah.
Ooh. How's everybody doing?
Doing
It's
pretty
hot, dude.
good.
Not asking for money thing is a me thing, not my.
No worries.
So apparently, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is coming to PC. So that's pretty cool.
Alright, I'm back.
And so, I'm back.
So what are you guys doing?
If nobody has any ideas, Isaac wants to go to the Temple of Law and see if the guard captain is in.
Temple of Law would not be where the guard captain would be.
Then wherever the guard captain would be.
That would be at the barracks.
The barracks.
Okay. I mean, if that's the intended destination, I can make this short and say that unless you're going to be trying to be very pushy about this, you'd be able to tell and then find out that the guard captain's not seeing anyone right now, as she is mountained by work and is injured to boot still.
In that case, I would ask if anyone knows what happened to the remains of the serial killer, if his wishes were honored.
I mean, roll the D100. You'd get about the same answer you got from the guard before, which is that there really wasn't time to send a serial killer's body anywhere.
I would just say, if to the whatever guard I'm talking to, if you could please, it's really important, just pass on this note to the guard captain. Just tell her not to honor those serial killer's wishes.
The guard would nod.
That'd be all.
Okay. Anyone else have something they want to do? I mean, I don't like to force you guys places to not, if you don't necessarily jump at something, but if nobody gives me something that you guys want to do, I'm just going to operate under the assumption that you go back to the manor and are just calling it in for the day.
I'm asking this on the meta to my fellow players, because some of you, at least I thought some of your characters cared. Are any of you concerned about Pertor or the nice drow man?
Yeah.
So I also wouldn't say anything. I was just curious if your characters would.
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely concerned, but like, also, given the information that we've had, like, you know, I know the guard mentioned them, but like, also the fact that, like, civilian casualties were minimal. They were all, like, you know, focused in that one particular area. I mean, at the very least, I would say probably Perpetuar, because the temple is just outside of the northeast gate. But aside from that, I mean, I'm pretty sure the drow, the drow guy, I forget his name off the top of my head. He lived like far out past the southwestern gate, I think.
Yeah, he was outside the city where he could have been head. Yes.
Yeah.
Twas the North Gate that he lived outside of.
North? Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we're in this vicinity and if we're in this like market area that's in this sort of like northeastern area, it's not too much of a trip. So Beryl would probably would have.
I mean, it's a half hour, so.
Yeah, I mean, we have all day. That's the thing.
Sure.
So yeah, I would check in on Mr. Perpetuar.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben. Having a hard time wrapping my brain around tasks that both I and Beryl would want to accomplish.
Is anyone not going with... No, I'm not... If you're not going with them, you're just going to say that you're not going with them at some point. You're going to speak up. I'm not giving options anymore for people to say things. You guys are operating on a level that I'm not quite thrilled about today.
I'm not going with them.
Okay. Where would you be going?
back to the manor.
Okay. Are you doing anything back at the manor, or are you just taking it in for the day?
Reading.
Okay. Okay. As you all head to Mr. Perpetor's. Alright. As you'd go toward the east gate and try to exit out, you'd be stopped by the guards at the gate, and recognize you, the one at the base, go, if you want to head out, we won't stop you, because I know who you are, but it's possibly dangerous out there, so I wouldn't recommend it.
We just have to check in on a friend, and then we'll be back. Shouldn't be too long.
Alright. You'd be allowed out. And then you'll head toward Mr. Perpetor's. Should arrive out toward the Temple of the Raven Queen as you see the the old, decrepit building not too far before you. And you see the doors of the temple are shut. And as you get closer, the windows that you can see are boarded up.
Okay. I will go up to the doors and give a knock.
You knock. That goes out.
Wait a few minutes.
Nothing happens.
Maybe he's tending to the cemetery. Beryl's gonna walk around to the side where she knows the gate to the graveyard is.
You wouldn't see him in the distance as you look toward the graveyard.
We'll go back to the front door, knock a bit louder, and then just like call out verbally, "Mr. Perpetor, it's Beryl."
Be no response.
Is there any windows on like our level?
They're boarded up.
They're all boarded up. Are there any on the higher up area?
Also boarded up. Though, no, I don't think any. No, yeah, no.
Okay. I really don't want to leave without making sure he's all right.
Maybe he's in the crypt.
All right. Well, I don't exactly have a way in, unless
Well, we'll know who's there if it's unlocked.
Why would he keep it unlocked?
Because he's inside. You wouldn't keep the gate open, or you wouldn't keep the gate locked. Possibly, I don't know.
I mean, I think he might.
You could also try to open the doors to the church.
Yeah.
Far be it from me to suggest something like that when you could go to a completely separate location. But you could try the doors to the church before you go do that.
Yeah. Sure. I'll check the doors.
So you check to see if it's unlocked, as you're able to open the door, as it's a bit tougher than usual, but you're able to open them up.
Okay. I'll look inside.
You look inside and you see the worship area of the Temple of the Raven Queen. The candles that are usually lit are put out. and it is dark inside. You do not see Mr. Perpetor anywhere in the main worship area, though you do see the door deeper into the temple closed at the back.
Alright, I'll head in and move towards the further in door.
Okay. As you head in, near the back of some of the windows, you can see what look like shattered glass and what looks like rainwater piled up right beside like some of the windows.
All right. Seeing that Beryl would.
They are boarded up, but yeah, there's cracked glass on the floor and what looks like rainwater.
Okay. Yeah. Beryl will just move quickly towards the back door.
Sure.
And knock on it.
As you would knock on it. You'd hear a voice call down, like, what sounds like from above you as you go, Is someone there?
It's Beryl, Mr. Perpetor, and...
apologies, hello, Beryl, temple I had boarded up and closed. There was a bit of an incident with the rain.
Oh, alright, I saw that, well, we just wanted to check in on you and see how you were doing. Well, there was I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a bit of an attack on the city, on the town.
Another one? By the Queen's grace, I did not know. I've been here.
Or do I just hear him?
No, you just hear him.
Okay.
I've been here all day. Again, the storm broke through, breaking a couple of the windows. I had to board them up quickly. I didn't want anything to get hurt. Anything to get damaged from the temple. Not anything to get hurt.
Did you need any help with anything? Are you alright?
The storm has passed now. It's just some basic cleaning work I'm going to have to do.
Would I be able to insight check his voice?
Sure.
Like,
definitely a higher DC because, it's just a voice.
Try as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Hard to say, Carolina. Beryl, you're not getting anything that you think is particularly strange from Mr. Perpetor. You know, you guys are really nailing insights today.
So good.
That's a medicine check.
Yes.
He lost his voice.
What is it? What is the difference for it being insight? Is there no difference?
No, there is a large difference. It would be a +6 instead.
Okay.
18, 19, 21, 22, 24.
He seems a bit tired in his voice, like weared down from work, but it doesn't seem different from the encounters you've had with Mr. Perpetor before.
Alright, well, we just came to check up on you and see if you're alright, but,
I appreciate the concern. I'm perfectly fine.
Alright.
It is good to know the city was attacked. I will likely have to put off heading in for a couple days then.
It seems to be settling down a bit, but definitely be a bit more cautious. Is there anything we can get you, if you didn't want to make the trip?
Oh no, I'm fine. I have to refill some coffers and stuff, but I'm not in any worry. We'll be fine.
All right. Well, if you need us for anything, if you need to find us, we're staying at the Dandelion Inn.
I will...
Oh, no, actually, sorry. we're actually staying at Lady Elsani's house. So
If
so
I
we'll be
need to
there.
find you, I will figure it out.
All right. Take care.
You as well.
So, make to leave.
All right. I'm sorry for the whole telling you to just try the door thing, but in the moment it seemed like another thing of players overanalyzing and adding more workload to it.
I mean, you know, it's if I see it, if I see doors closed and windows boarded in, I'm, thinking, assuming the worst.
Sure.
When they get outside, Silas just notice them come outside. Is Mr. Perpetua all right?
He seems all right. Just a bit shaken from the weather.
Are you shutting the doors behind you?
Yes.
Okay.
Seemed unaware of the second attack, though. I guess he's kind of isolated out here.
Sighs. Tell me you saw him.
No, just heard him from. I guess he was calling down from some higher level.
No one can tell me if you saw something to do with him. Oh, I guess I'm having to go inside then. Silas is going to go inside, physically looking for Mr. Repertoire until you.
He's not in the area, in the prayer area. Are you going to go through the back door and try to find him?
Someone stopping him, he is.
Any of you stopping Silas as he
very
heads
uncomfortable
inside?
and annoyed the whole.
No, I mean I'll follow him in, but I'm not gonna stop him.
As you open the door and head to the bathroom, you hear a voice call out and go, is someone there again? Is that you, Beryl?
I'm here with Silas. He wanted to see you?
Give me a moment, then? As you'd hear, like, the sound of, moving feet, a door opening, and then, someone moving downstairs, and if you enter into the hallway area, you would see Mr. Perpetua coming down a set of stairs with a lantern in hand. Is there something I can help you with?
Does he look normal, Jake?
I mean, you look him over, he's, it's been hours, yeah, he looks normal, he's not, I would say, I was gonna say he looks a bit wet, but it's been hours, that would be a fucking pathetic thing if he still looked like he was wet.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
he looks normal. Looks a bit tired, but aside from that, looks normal.
Beryl's just like looking all like puzzling towards Silas.
Silas is like still keenly looking him over. Mr. Perpetua, I need to make a request of you. I must apologize for making.
Sure.
Is his actually before Silas asked him anything, Jake? Is his neck easily visible?
Yeah, he's wearing like a normal shirt, so his neck is mostly visible.
And does he have the symbol of the Raven Queen around his neck like usual?
He doesn't have like a tattoo of the Raven Queen on his neck, but he has the
No.
necklace. Yes.
Necklace, neck. Okay. And there's nothing on his neck. Okay.
Well, there doesn't appear to be anything on his neck from what you've seen. It's not like you've examined his neck closely, though.
Would you mind if I get a closer look at you?
Could I ask why?
He kind of sighs and goes, "Can ask. Any explanation I give you is probably not going to seem good enough, however."
You could just give me an explanation. It does not help me in any way to not get any sort of one. It makes me a bit nervous.
Paranoia and looking into things after recent discoveries.
I see. I suppose you could look me over as long as you don't do anything strange.
I don't need to cast any magic, and I don't need to touch your person.
Yeah, just, yes. I understand with the attacks and all, there's been a lot of duress, so do what you need to do.
If you could. Silas is going to first actually just look at his neck closely, both sides, and back.
Nothing on his neck, pale skin.
You roll up your sleeves. Oh, man.
Rolls up his sleeves.
Anything in there?
No?
Silas,
I bet didn't think there was going to be, but...
Silas, what are we looking for?
It was as expected.
There'd probably be like a tattoo on his forearm of like the side profile of a raven's head. But that'd be about it.
Oh yeah, okay. That's even better than seeing nothing for Silas at this considering what he's looking for. Thank you and apologies, Mr. Bellator.
It's quite alright. It didn't cause me any inconvenience. It was just a strange request.
It is.
Errol just gives him a big smile and happy to see you're all right.
Good to see that you and hopefully the rest of your friends are as well. I hope that the attack did not hit you too badly.
What is a normal donation for you here, Mr. Verpator, for this place?
This place has not received any donations, unfortunately, since I took over.
Oh, that's terrible.
The people don't... The people are frankly afraid of the Raven Queen, and perhaps they are even more afraid of me than they are of her.
Sal's gonna pull out 5 gold.
Look at that go.
And hold his hand out for him in a way to, for him to take it.
That is a very generous offering, so I do not know if I could take it.
You can, and you should.
I will not fight against it too much. There is a lot of work that needs to be done on the temple. So take the 5 gold.
As he takes the money, Silas is going to just make sure one of his fingers touches Mr. hand. It's like feeling if his skin feels normal.
I mean, you've never touched him before, so you don't know
Right.
what normal is for him, but upon touching him, he is cold.
I won't say anything, and just nod his head to him.
Seeing that, Beryl would also take out her coin purse and rummage through it.
No, this is plenty. You don't need to make any more. This will be enough for several months.
It's winter remembrance.
I can assure you that
appreciated.
I can assure you this is plenty of appreciation, more than usual. In fact, above and beyond usual. There has been some that have come very rarely and offered a very small amount, but you are the only people who have offered such a generous amount aside from... He stops and thinks, there was a man a long time ago, but that was before I'd met any of you.
Well, either way, we'd like to see you, taken care of, and this temple as well. You put a lot of work and effort into it.
How long ago was this other man?
Probably about 12 years ago. I remember things like that. Sorry, does 12 years line up with how long ago he got here, actually? Or did he give you even the amount of years he's been here?
I don't think he's given us an amount of time.
Okay, yeah, then no, okay, it does. Never mind. I wanted to make sure because it's not supposed to be contradictory to that.
Fair enough.
About 12 years ago or so.
see. Well, good luck, and perhaps for the remainder of the day, if not the next day, you may consider cleaning or locking your doors, just to be on the safe side.
It's what I intended to do. You two leaving?
So I was setting out, yeah. Still looking very uncomfortable and annoyed.
I will, regardless of what he's doing or, you know, what Silas is doing, Barrel's just going to, wander over to the altar and, place 5 gold down.
Okay. Are you leaving afterward?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all are outside again.
Well, what happened?
He's fine. And he's been taken care of monetarily.
What'd you do to him?
We just
Why would you
donated to
assume
the
I
temple.
did something because I said he was taken care of monetarily?
I didn't mean it
Received
like
more
that,
gold from
but-
Beryl and I than he has in 12 years, apparently.
Oh,
some reason I really doubt you went inside the temple to give him money. I'm sure that did happen. I'm just not sure that's the intention you had when you walked in.
if you were worried about him being safe when we didn't see him, you should have gone in with us the first time.
I wasn't worried about his safe being. Worried about more people being akin to the guildmaster.
Well, yes, but again, that would have saved us the trouble. If you weren't. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm glad he's okay.
For what it's worth. I appreciate whatever it is you did, Silas.
It did was apparently a waste of time, but pulling things out is... Why is his teachings popping up in my head now? Anyways. Where to next?
Should probably just head back to the manor and wait for further instructions, yeah?
Alright then.
You gonna head back to the manor then? Calling it in for the day?
So. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do a time skip then. As the rest of the day would go by, you all would get another long rest, so anything you lost, you get back. And tomorrow would come, as it always does. Has around 12 p.m. after you all had awoken, and gotten to adjust to whatever you needed to in the day, you would have been, fed breakfast, in the main dining hall, in this rather spacious, very nice looking, dining room that has a single, large, tablecloth, circular table that can fit about, 9 people. So well enough for all of you, as you would all sit around eating, as the maid would have departed for a moment, and then come back later with Lady Ilsani in tow, dressed in her normal nightgown that does not particularly cover any of her bare chest as she walks in. In fact, not wearing any pants this time as well, as she is what would be stark naked if not for the nightgown covering her just barely. As she walks in, very clearly out of it, not very clearly a bit out of it still, with the maid behind her that was clearly given chase, who has what looks like a pair of, like, nice pants in her arms, just looking at her as she's following behind. as the maid calls out as she enters. She goes, Lady Osani, it's your tradition alone to at least wear pants around most of your... As she would cut her off and go, I've been through the ringer the past few days. These people can... Everyone can deal with me being at my most comfortable. As she looks to you all and goes, I at least believe you can.
Yeah,
I-
no problem.
I have no problem with it.
Does anyone voice any issues with her being naked or look as though it bothers you?
Girl's used to spending
Beautiful.
several days naked in the Fae.
As she would just look to the maid and go, fetch me some breakfast as well and something to drink. As she will sit down at the head chair before you all go. How do you all feel after, well, what I'm told was a full day after the attack? Well, a full
Like
half.
there are questions that need answered.
I feel the same exact way.
Certainly feel uneasy.
You'd be happy to know, all of you, that the messages reached Satanta and Lady Estray's ear. Sorry, I shouldn't say Lady Estray. Satanta and Soleil's ear. And that they are making back toward Wolford as soon as they can. Satanta alleged that he would arrive by mid-afternoon. I would be shocked if that's true, but the man is
Beating.
a genetic freak, so it wouldn't surprise me if he got back that quickly. I've worked with him very closely throughout my years as councilwoman, and I can tell you that he is not built the way others are.
Different.
I was gonna say it.
I certainly have things I would like to ask about, but if we could alone at some point.
You requested that the other night as well, I remember. If you need speak, we shall. For now, we have other things to talk about. We have what happened a few days ago to start. Would you like to go first in what you encountered in the tomb? Or would you like me to describe what happened here first?
Is she asking like all of us or just Silas?
I mean, it's everyone, not just Silas.
You can speak first.
From what I recall, it was early in the morning. I was going about my normal daily duties of going through missives. Ben, we're getting a lot of noise from you, by the way. Thank you. I was going through my normal duties of attending to missives I had gotten from the kingdom and from across the nation. As I had been sent mail intended for Satanta for him to look over when he arrives here soon. And as well, after, I was going to make my way toward the guard and start figuring some things out with the disturbing news regarding the tomb I had received the day before. Before that could happen, however, sorry, my brain stopped. I had to look at something. Mr. Tohan, or Tohan, arrived here, looking to see me, as I had gone to see him, as he had sent me a message to come see him in the courtyard, which I had found strange already. I had never seen Mr. Tohan use magic once in his life before. So I went to go meet him, believing there could be something amiss. When I arrived outside, I could hear the panic. When I arrived outside, the pillar appeared. And before I could even react to that, he was upon me. I had not seen him. Covered in blood already from the gods he had killed at the gate. Mr. Tohan now evolved into... the strange undead of that the Tiamat cult makes, that we refer to only as... What is it? They are referred to generally as shattered scales. They are quite the formidable opponent. I believe I described somewhat about them to you the night prior. They are able to switch between forms of combat where they can absorb and not be affected by magic, and where they are barely damaged by weapons and such as well. As we fought throughout my home until I was cornered in my office where I rushed to get my weapon. As the fight continued, it was not a pretty one. I was keeping up with him and harming him, but as an undead, he is not as prone to the exhaustion of battle as I am. And his magic was able to wring my mind, causing me to not be as critically aware. Luckily... Why am I always forgetting the name of this maid? Morena was able to intervene during the fight and stop him from doing anything further. I am very lucky that she is as capable as she is. I would have likely been able to best him, but I do not know what state I would have been in afterward. After that had happened, well, he died After that had happened, Marina moved to attending to me for the next few hours. I was badly wounded, and the wounds inflicted by his claws would not heal for quite some time. It took 2 hours before they could be mended. That is not normal for his variety of undead. That is something that is not seen, generally. I could tell his claws had been infused with some sort of horrid essence. I have my guesses about where it came from, but I do not feel the need to speculate as of this moment. Let us finish our exchange of information first. Hours passed and Marina began her mending of me, and then you all arrived. That is as clear as I remember it. Though I suppose you could have questions about the incident. As she looks to you all, offering out for any of you to ask about what had happened.
It was pretty detailed.
I'm not too familiar with that particular type of undead. We knew that he was capable of some level of magic, right? Did he do anything that those particular creatures weren't normally able to do?
Aside from the claws, the wounds inflicted by it not healing, not at first.
So So no other magic.
Not that I could tell, no. It was a shame. Mr. Tohan was a good man. That is very rare to find in those that, well, take the path of becoming leaders in merchant guilds. It is very rare for them to be as good-hearted as he was. And I know that this was not something he wanted to do. I have my theories about why this happened. My predominant one is that in that attack upon the dragon's tinctures, he was killed and then was replaced. Well, not replaced. He was risen again by that foul necromancer's magic. And also given an artificial personality as well, so that he would not reveal himself to be altered until the time came.
What of...
As she has a furious look on her face as she says that. God?
Would it... In our initial investigation of the attack on the tinctures, we discovered that he had a blessing of some sort. Would that have protected him from being turned undead?
A spiritual blessing. From what I understand, his spiritual blessing was the blessing of the tongue, making him much, much more persuasive. That was my understanding of the blessing alone. When he claimed that his blessing protected him more from the blast, I was confused, but my knowledge on the spiritual arts are not in depth. So I was, now I could say, blinded by my friendship with him and did not question it any further. His blessing was a blessing of the tongue, though. It would not lead for him to be protected or have any protections against undead.
So we under the assumption then that the blast that he seemingly survived, barely scathed, actually killed him and rose him both?
I am to operate under the assumption that he died that day. Not anything else. Just that he had to die and rose on that day as well. I do not know if it was the same spell or if it was other magic from the horrid necromancer, though. Some spells do have multiple components to them, and could, say, rise a creature upon killing it, but I do not know if it was one of those spells.
Have there been any updates on the condition of the alchemist that ran the store that incident happened at?
Roll me a D100, Ben. Probably the last one of the session. I've asked for a lot of them today. Okay. Last I checked, he had not recovered on time as he believed he would. He was still stuck in a deep, deep coma. But not dying. It was strange. The healers tending to him do not know why he did not awake when he was assumed to be able to. However, I know that Mr. Tohan paid him a visit not many days ago, before that development occurred. If my guess is correct, I believe he likely did something. That is why I've sent word already to the healers that have been tending to him. I will have more information later on that. But I will do the best I can to make sure that he will not die. We need answers about what happened in the dragon's tinctures that day. It is the missing component, in my view, to the goings on in this town. Does anyone have anything they would like to say or ask regarding the topic of what happened to Lady Ilsani, and what happened regarding Mr. Tohan in his undeadification?
Lady, I believe I can get answers from him.
Through what means?
Speak with the dead.
It will not work. The cultists of Tiamat are thorough. They operate in secret across the world of Augon. Their techniques of creating undead and the way they leave dead in their wake make sure that the dead will not carry word of their deeds. So, operating under the assumption that this is the same effect that rose him, then I do not believe your speak with dead would work. However, with the inclusion of the fact that the Umbral Order had marked him on the neck, I do not know if the cult of Tiamat is involved. I have no reason to believe that they would work together. From what I understand, they do oppose demons from time to time, but are known to work with them occasionally. So if you wish to try anyway, I cannot say whether I know it will work or not, but I know that normally it would not.
I will attempt when Setanta arrives.
She nods. Anyone else have anything to say regarding this current topic? Alright. Moving on, she looks to you all and goes, now, tell me...
Jake, I know you have a break time in mind, but it's...
Take a
Can
break.
we have a break, please?
Yeah, take a break. Take 5 minutes.
Thank you.
I'm back. As continuing on, Lady Ilsani is going to ask of you to explain what had happened at the tomb. You do not need to do an explanation again. I'm going to ask you of some key things about what you're going to describe. So first, what are you going to tell her about Galak Iramak?
Tell her that it seemed like he was being controlled in some way. Explain what we saw with the Dragonborn's arm, the black magic withering, and if she's not aware of who he is, probably
she would know
fill
who
her
he is.
in. Okay. And I guess the overall demeanor of him, you know, seemingly in control, but not, and the fact that he wasn't happy with what he had to do.
Fair enough. I suppose I should have asked this first, so I'm gonna ask it now. Is there anything about the way toward the temple and not the temple? Is there anything about the journey toward the cemetery that you would have told her about at the Battle of the Gate or at the cemetery itself?
I feel like we would tell her
anything of note from it is what I mean.
I would have for sure mentioned the undead. I believe we told her about the undead dragon, but I would have mentioned that we believed it to be, Isaac has a theory that it may be Turvit.
Okay.
The ogre with the horn, the magic horn, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely
That
should be talked about. Yeah.
And also if she knows the name Zargrax.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
If we're talking about pre-crypt, I assume, but I'll say the crypt keeper's room being tossed, seemingly.
Fair enough. I'm gonna address the Zargrax question first, though, before we go any further, because that probably would have been axed before anything else. As she would say, I do know the name Zargrax. Zargrax is the name of a dragon that was slain by Uthor Avalon and Angus Brighthammer years ago, when Uthor first acquired the holy blade that he wielded. Zargrax is a dragon that terrorized Destin and the areas around it before Destin had ever formed, when the clans were still fighting for control over it. He was a old dragon of a twinned nature, born of both white draconic lineage and black. Is it white and black? No, it's blue. It's blue and white. He was a powerful foe from what I have read of history regarding him. Regarding the ogres and the one-horned ogres, I know from the god captain that they bore banners of clans of ogres from the north that worship and revere the memory of Zagrax.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're going to say what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
At the mention of the twinned nature.
Yes.
I mean, I know we already mentioned it to her, but she was in a sort of addled state. Definitely bringing up at the mention of the twin lineage, the Dragonborn mentioning that he was the inheritor of the twin dragon blood.
Could mean that he is an inheritor of the blood of Zargathrax, which would mean... not Zargathrax, Zargrax. Sorry, Zargathrax is something else from a band. It could mean that he is the inheritor of the blood of Zargrax, which would explain why the ogres would listen to him if they were under his command. But it could also mean he could inherit the blood of another twin-colored dragon. I don't believe in coincidences like that, though, so good to know.
Is that common for there to be a twin-blooded dragon?
Shakes her head no. Assuredly not. It is rare. I do not understand the intricacies of it. If you wanted to know more, you'd have to ask an expert on dragons or a dragon themselves. I do not know of any dragons in the vicinity, though, that I could ask of. Moving on. Assuming nobody has a question or stop for a minute. Moving on to the next part. What do you tell her about the Dragonborn man? Particularly, and if there are any highlights of what you from the crypt as well. Again, this is stuff that you believe to be very important that you would have highlighted to say to her, as opposed to just leaving it as a general description.
Definitely that he looked sick.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that the entire description of
the physical
him
description, of course, yeah,
is there.
Well, I guess there's a lot of stuff that happened that only three of us really know about.
Well,
so
that's...
I leave it to them.
That's who I'm waiting on.
Well, I mean, obviously, I would mention that he was able to undo second magic. So, and then I would defer to Silas, who actually spoke to him.
Silas would point out to her that he was able to freely throw out high school magic, almost as a tantrum-like warning shot, implying that to Silas at the very least that he's capable of much more even after having broken second magic.
Okay.
Would make sure to highlight which would be technically going back over it, the black markings that showed up on his arm.
Correct.
When he took control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the fact that he took the Crypt Keeper's corpse with him.
I operated under the assumption that goes into the general unfolding of events.
Okay.
He believes that the Crypt Keeper is responsible for the body not being present.
Okay.
I would also mention that, again, it was probably mentioned, but that he used magic to transport lanes, seemingly.
Okay.
And the undead fell after he transported.
So before she goes to talk to you all, is there anything else you want to add that you believe is important from the overall series of events that happened?
I'd mentioned the pile of dead ogres that we saw walking back.
She'd look to you at that and she'd nod, but she'd look confused. Anything else? Alright.
I wasn't exactly because I wasn't here last session. Did you guys mention the other guy that we fought, got the hammer?
That was Gallic Iramak, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
As she would go, can one of you draw the symbols you saw on the hand of the sickly dragonborn?
Silas certainly try to if she asked.
Sure. She would get paper fetched for you, and then you would try to draw it.
Best he could.
Roll me a first history check.
$20.
It's taking a while. Roll 20's fucky, huh? There we go. Oh. You have a complete and perfect memory of the symbol as you recall it. Now roll me a dexterity check. It can be a sleight of hand if you are proficient in that. And it will be at advantage because of your history roll with the nat 20.
I'm glad it's at advantage because I don't have proficiency in sleight of hand.
You still have a good dexterity, though.
I think it was an advantage.
You know?
Jesus.
Alright. Well, with a 12, you are not able to draw the most detailed depiction, but you are able to get the general drawing apart, and you remember all the details of it, so you are able to do the best you can in that regard. As you draw it out, while he's doing that, she will chime up and go, did any of you have any reason to believe that the Crypt Keeper could have actually been behind the disappearance of the corpse? I know someone dropped. It's fine.
Ben dropped.
Yeah, that's fine. I know.
I mean, he seemed just as baffled as any of us when we first found it.
He did say that only those himself and those of his bloodline could open the tomb.
But none of you believe that he could have them. He seemed genuinely confused to you.
Genuinely correct.
I pray that he cannot do any more damage to the Crypt Keeper beyond his death. I do not know if he is behind the disappearance of the body. Poor man. Regardless, your report on Gallic Iramak being controlled by this man is disturbing. There is magic that can control people, but not to such an extent. It almost seemed like he wasn't being controlled, but from what you describe, coerced. Under the threat, perhaps, of those absolute commands that he was able to do with those strange symbols you saw. Disturbing, to say the least. Gallic is a hero known to the Feywild and known to some of this world, and while he is not, say, a legend, he is certainly someone of renown. I do not know of magic that could force such obedience. But for him to be able to destroy second magic and possess something of the sort, there is something more going on here.
Jake, I disconnected there for a moment right after I rolled the dex.
Yes.
I don't know what sold of my 12 was.
You're drawing a decent description, a decent depiction of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Is that wisdom save for anything, Astrid, or?
It's for me.
Okay. Just wanted to see if you're doing something. As she goes, this is troubling, but there is luck that he did not receive what he wanted. With what has gone on,
It does.
okay.
It does imply that there were two separate groups, seemingly both wanting the body.
Or that the body has not been there for quite a long time. I do not know why it'd be missing. I find it strange. Hopefully, hopefully Soleil has some answers when she arrives back. Regardless, I thank you for your interference in this matter. We do not know what more damage would have been done if you did not show up there. It's possible it could have played out the same way it did, but it's possible he could have reacted out of anger even more. With his description, I will ask around and see if anyone is aware of him. If someone is an inheritor of a twin dragon bloodline, they will be of some esteem, known to someone. And if our theories are correct, and we believe this man to be the one behind the magic's incidents that have occurred, he possesses great magic, and he knows techniques of the cult of Tiamat. He may be connected in some way. Before going any further, though, I must ask that any of you see the symbol of the Umbral Order on any of the people present at the crypt.
I mean, Beryl was fighting really close to Gallic. Would she have seen anything like that?
I don't think that between being in an absolute rage and the way the fight was going, I don't necessarily know that you saw anything like that.
Yeah.
Other than Gallic and the Dragonborn man, wasn't anyone present to really with flesh at the crypt at the very least. And I can say I was not looking. I apologize.
Don't apologize, it was a fight. I did not see the symbol on Mr. Johan's neck either during my fight. I imagine you have questions. I reacted strongly to the symbol and to the idea of the Umbral Order. To start, as I explained, they are dedicated to 3 demon lords. I know of one, Demogorgon, Prince of Demons, Deep Father, goes by many other names. A horrid, horrid demon that I'm sure some of you are aware of, at least I hope most of you are, as she looks over each of you.
Silence and nod.
Is anyone gonna display that they don't know who Demogorgon is? Okay. There are others as well. I do not know the names of them. They are a horrid order. They have been responsible for some of the most heinous crimes committed in the world. There are few organizations worse than them. They're likely on par with the Church of Sirik, and I do not know if I consider them to be worse than the cult of the Elder Elemental Eye or not. I know that they are bad, though, and that if they are behind this or here, that it spells bad things. I do not believe in coincidences that would indicate that they are here without any relation to what had happened at the crypt or with what had happened with the ogres. But for now, we don't have any more proof of that, just speculation. I will tell you all what I can about the Umbral Order if you have questions, but know that my knowledge is limited only to their crimes. Do any of you have any questions to ask about the Umbral Order?
Not in public.
No.
So they, what's the phrase? Taking credit for multiple atrocities across Augon?
They have not taken credit for it. We have found that they are behind it. Many, many atrocities that have been committed. Perhaps you have heard of the... 1 second. Pulling up the name. The Slaughter of Sanlo. And anyone native to Euclex can roll history. So that is Astrid, Isaac, Carolina, Sol. Carolina? Okay, that's it. Isaac and Sol. Oh, you recall the name of the slaughter of Sanlo. It was a horrid massacre where about 100 people were killed in cult-like murders that all occurred in one night. In the destined city of Sanlo. That is but one atrocity they committed here in Destin. There are others. In the far south, they are responsible for... the serial murders that occurred outside of the great city of Tarask. Sol, you can roll history on that if you would like. That's it, though. I'd give you that you've just heard of the great city of Tarask, which is in the land of... Is it Brokesha? Or... Let me check. I don't want to give you wrong information. Yeah, it's in Brokesha. As you would have heard of the great city of Tarask, which is a massive city made from the bones of a dead monster. That is the capital city of the Brokeshian kingdom. There were... You don't recall anything about these serial murderings. But they are responsible for many great atrocities of evil.
We know to what end that they acted in such a way.
Aside from their dedication to a demon lord already known for reveling in wanton destruction, no. I cannot say I do.
And they're local to Euclex or all over Augon?
I can name few places in the world where they are not active. I cannot name the atrocities they've committed in those places, though. I know only of what has happened here in Euclex, and what has happened in the Underdark as well.
How do you know it's them? What kind of thing can you tie to them specifically?
Are you asking for this incident, or for the incidents that occurred?
The incidents that occurred in the past.
Members of their order bearing their symbol. Usually is what we find. Occasionally, they like to make themselves known horrid, horrid things they do to bodies of people they slay.
Jake, does that chime any?
Josie and Silas can roll history. Or, well, just history with advantage for the two of them. Lots of bodies left around Angrel in horridly deformed ways that could be similar to that. Lots in your hometown. Or had happened in your hometown before, at the very least.
Fun to be able to roll a history check on mangled bodies. I don't know anything about anything, but I know about mangled bodies.
Alice turns a bit pale and, like, off-colored.
Their evil cannot be described in full by me. I do not know what their intent here is today. But there was an attempt on my life, at the very least, I know that. And I strongly feel they are connected to what has happened in the greater area of this city.
Do you know where they're more, or if they're more focused other places, or if they have a center?
I don't know, frankly. All I know is that they're a coalition of sects between the demon lords they worship. Some demon lords are more active in certain parts of the world, so it's possible that different parts of the Umbral Order, at least of the coalitions of it, are more active in different parts of the world. From what I understand, however, they act in certain places more in small periods of time. Like they will have a goal they're trying to accomplish somewhere. And in that place they will be at that time, the Umbral Order will be sighted. I can only pray that this is only an offshoot and not an indication of things to come. Go on, Beryl.
I know we probably don't want to think about it, but do we have any idea if, well, do we maybe think that this might be having something to do with the war?
She looks to you. I don't know. My understanding of the war is that there were legitimate buildings up between aggressions between Zillion and Vosia for a long time, and that this was going to happen. But I do not know if it has anything to do with the war. What are you suggesting? That they perhaps played some part in it breaking out?
Or maybe the other way around, actually.
The war has led to them coming here.
Something like that. I think for individuals of their nature and caliber,
war brings out opportunistic values in people. You are correct.
Aye.
That could be a part of it.
I mean, if, people are being slaughtered left and right across the lands, it seems like, ample opportunity for people of that nature to excel.
I agree with Beryl. I definitely think that maybe it's not they took their part of the war or something like that, but they see the war as an opportunity to cause more violence.
It's possible.
And maybe blame it on the war.
They are not ones to shift the blames to others.
but maybe just
I
benefiting from, all of the chaos.
Silas?
I don't mean to mix up thoughts, as there's logic supporting this one, certainly. The one you all were talking about. But would it not be fitting for a cult almost solely focused on wanton destruction to cause the two largest forces of potential destruction to implode on one another?
That is implying something greater than I think you know, my friend. What you say implies that the two giants of Euclax not only are infiltrated by the Umberlorda, but have been infiltrated in a way that is meaningful, where they could make decisions that could affect the outcome of the nations that they are part of.
Potentially that, but I was also implying that potentially they could have simply been doing things and intentionally making it seem as an affront from the other.
That is cunning. I attribute a lot of things to the worshippers of Demogorgon, but cunning is not one of them.
Underestimate the cunning of your opponent, though, can be a fatal mistake.
They do not only worship Demogorgon, too. There is much to ponder on here. Disturbing news all around. Is there anything more?
Alice, you look like you're about to puke.
Could I need to step outside for a moment. Sal's gonna get up to go walk out of the room outside.
Okay.
With the intention that he's gonna get sick and he vomits when he gets outside.
Okay. Is anyone asking her anything else during that time?
Nah.
Then she would go. Then we shall wait for Silas to return, and then I have something Satanta requested of me to show you all, or to bring up to you all. Silas, you make it outside. Are you gonna vomit somewhere and then come back?
Take a breather and a drink, but yeah, his intention was to come back.
Okay. So she would arrive back and she would go, now that we're back together, on to less dire talks. Satanta requested for me to ask you all something. He requested for me to ask if you all still had intentions of taking jobs and working with him after this had concluded.
Yes. At least on my part.
I don't really have anywhere else to go, and well, it seems like the best course for doing what I need to do.
Okay.
It will be an honor.
I think it'd be good to benefit me as well.
I feel that I may find answers if I stick around.
Astrid? Sorry, Josie, you could technically say something too. I was counting Silas as you as well because of the, two of you being inseparable, but you could do whatever you want as well. Okay. Astrid?
Yes, I would like to work with Satanta again.
He has received several missives that he has looked over the past few days that he believes could be related to what has been going on, also could not be. Regardless, these missives are the most prominent thing that he is concerned about regarding everything that's going on. I was told to pass each of them along to you all so that you could read them all and be aware of them before he returned so that you could discuss them in great detail and then hopefully make a decision of where you want to go. So here. As she is going to hand all of you missives regarding information of jobs that Satanta would be offering you. And she would explain that she doesn't expect, that he does not expect for you all to want to tackle, say, all of them or anything like that. You could only tackle one, but he was going to offer that you could tackle whatever two you'd like if you wanted to take more than one job. So I'm going to reveal them to you, but I'm going to end session as well. Unless you all would like to take the time for me to reveal each of them to you and have me read them through and then end session. Or would you prefer I just cut session here and let you all read them?
We know how to read.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And I'm ending session. Session's going to be over. As that session, I hope you all had fun. I'm going to end the stream, as I'll be back after that. You can say goodbye to the stream.
Bye,
Stream.
That's going to be the session. Hope all of you that watched along had fun. As next week, there's going to be some decisions to be made. As on stream, I'll likely go over the what the jobs are next stream anyway. So, if you watched, hope you had fun watching along. And I will be streaming this again next week, as I'll talk to y'all then. Bye.